everybody. Welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones Cooper, and today I'm chatting with Kandi Burruss, the Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter. It's a star on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, where last night we finally got some answers about Snakegate, but I want more. So Kandi's here to help me unpack the drama. We'll also talk about how she's continuing to expand her empire in 2020 with new businesses, acting roles, and a new baby. Guys, put your hands together for Kandi Burruss.
Thank you.
Yeah, did we really get any answers last night with Snakegate?
I still left. At that time, I had left there, and I was still wondering, like, okay, do we know or do we not know? Because she never admitted it.
It was like Nene didn't want to get her hands dirty, so she kept trying to put Yvonne back in the room.
But the things that you guys saw her say to Yvonne in the hallway, we didn't see that, so we didn't know any of that conversation happened. So we were just sitting in the room like, okay, why don't you just say it already? You know, we didn't understand why Nene was giving this whole explanation about audio versus recording.
What is the difference,
like, girl,
by the way?
Can you please just say it already?
Yeah. And things got so heated and tense. What did it feel like actually in the room?
Heated and intense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It really reminded me of a few seasons ago when we had the thing at the hotel with the pajama party and everybody was about to fight. It was the same thing. The energy, when negative energy kind of like festers, it just bounces around the room. And it started with Cynthia and Marlo. And I didn't even understand how that happened, but they just started going at it. And I almost thought they were about to come to blows for a second. That energy was like, oh my gosh.
Especially from Cynthia.
Yeah.
Who usually doesn't go there.
You don't
But she
see
cussed
it.
her out.
Oh, she did.
Right.
Definitely. And they were in close proximity to each other. So I was getting a little afraid.
I think Eva was in the middle though, so everybody was.
But no, I was scared for Eva because she kept trying to like play bodyguard, pull people back. I'm like, girl, you are pregnant. You need to stay to the side.
Which Nene said, she's like, you know, that's the side of Cynthia you guys don't get to see. Do you think that's true, that that's like more common than Cynthia lets on?
The crazy thing about it, like I love Cynthia. I think she's a good person, but I mean, Nene has said that, and Peter used to say that, and they used to always be like, "It's another side you don't see," and I'm like, well, I hope I don't ever get to see it. Because she definitely can turn up.
Oh, she gets scary. But last night, there was so much going on. I love, though, Kandi, this season, you are killing it. Right?
Thanks.
You are just navigating the drama, like sidestepping it, staying out of it. How are you managing that? Because last night when Nene was, you were the only one getting along with Nene, really, when she came into this trip.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, okay, that was an interesting thing for me because ending the season 11, we were like, she was not messing with anybody. She had unfollowed all of us. I didn't think she ever was going to like me ever again, you know. And so shortly after we had, I guess a couple months after we did the reunion, I guess she had time to cool off because by the time my birthday came around, she reached out and said happy birthday and she was going to come to one of my dungeon parties. And I was like, really? We cool again? So I knew she was already open to, you know, letting bygones be bygones and being friends again. And so I was the first person to actually sat down with her when she started back taping. And so, I mean, it was just so crazy because she was mad at everybody, but it was like everybody was mad at her too. And they didn't really want anything to do with her in the beginning. It was like almost all the girls, you know, except for Marlo, of course. So, you know, things just kind of like they had to like over time she worked it out with people, but it wasn't easy.
As I'm a fan of this franchise specifically, I've watched it since the beginning, and I've never seen Nene on the outs this out, and I was actually worried about the future of her role in the show because it just seemed like nobody was getting along with her. Is that something that you guys really have to think about, is like your longevity on the show and these relationships?
You know, that's the funny thing. I never really would have thought about it before. But this year, you know, that came up. It was like, okay, well, if nobody is going to interact and nobody is going to be friends or whatever with her, it's like, how is she going to be a part of the show? Like somebody has to give, you know? And I think in the beginning she was trying to put forth effort, but everybody kind of like took this stance of like, it's not real, you know, she's not really trying to be cool, you know, whatever. And so it took time for that wall to break down.
And one, or I guess a few characters that kind of help with that are the friends. Which do you feel like some of these friends are competing for their own peaches? Because like Marlo and Tanya.
Is that a question?
Right. I just want to know your thoughts on it because they seem kind of thirsty for peaches.
Ooh, the thirst is real. No, let me just say this. It was like when Yavanna came back on this season, all she kept talking about, well, Nene, and you guys are doing this to Nene, and why is Nene? I was like, is she Nene's spokesperson? Like, what is going on around here? Especially at the Bailey Q. Remember that? And I was just like, why does she keep bringing up Nene? But it felt like that was her role this year.
It labeled her Nene's friend as she was slithering out of the hotel.
Well, you know, they're good for labeling people as friends, and then next year you might be labeled as somebody else's friend, like Tanya. You know, Tanya, she gets labeled as somebody else's friend every season. At first, I think it was Nene's friend. Now they say Portia's friend. She made a joke one day. She posted a picture of she and I and said Candy's friend. But yeah, it's just kind of funny how it goes. But I personally feel like the friend roles this year were just as important as cast members. Marlo, to me, I don't understand why she doesn't have a peach yet. She's there just as much as we are. She's on all the trips. I'm just like, I don't get it, you know. But you know, they still have labeled her a friend, but she's been here for a long
Marlo's
time.
working. Marlo's in there with her own glittered name in her hotel room. Did you see that? She brought her own.
She decorates her room everywhere we go. You never noticed it before?
Does?
Yes, that's her
I had not
thing.
really noticed it.
Oh, girl, if you go in her room, she sets up all her shoes and her clothes like it's like a little department store.
I have to pay more attention. I just saw her laying in front of her name in glitter, and I was like, she knows how to get attention.
Extra. Read all about it.
Speaking of extra, Kenya, just any comments on Kenya in general?
Well, that's my girl. I see you. You sound like you got a lot that you're thinking in your head.
Not yeah. She's so messy. She's so messy.
Needed for this show.
She is. That's the thing. I love her on the show because she is so messy and she brings up drama just like all the time for no reason. But then also like she's not somebody I would want to be friends with, I feel like.
Well, I think, you know, on the other side of that coin, are they really friends with her? You know, so I guess it's that thing of if you're not my friend, I really don't have to care. You know, I don't feel like, well, I feel like she and I get along really great, and I don't think she did anything like that to me. So, you know, hey.
I just always say Kenya has nice gowns, kind of like Aretha Franklin did. She has beautiful gowns.
Guess what? Kenya has a beautiful daughter, and
she does have a beautiful daughter.
Yeah, that was a great part about her coming back this season. The good side of it is that we get to see that relationship that we've been wanting her to have all this time, her and her baby.
And when she got the note from her mom, and I thought that was really sweet. Anybody who's been invested in her storyline just knew how much that meant to her. So, you know, I'm not hating on her.
I mean, that was online. I don't think everybody that watched the show.
Right, but just in general.
Yeah, on social media. I don't know if y'all follow Kenya, but her mother bought her daughter a gift. And, you know, before that, they weren't speaking for, I guess, Kenya's whole life. Yeah, so that was major.
That's really major. Let's talk about Carnival really quick. How was it? You said you're not known for dancing, but you look like you were dancing.
I'm not that good of a dancer. I never have been, even in the group Escape since a teenager. I've always been the challenged dancer in the group. I can, you know, attempt to move.
You were moving.
I don't feel like I'm that good.
It was good.
Well,
I'm telling you, it was good.
Okay, girl. Thank you.
You got my I don't know what my stamp of approval means, but you got it.
Well, I appreciate that.
I just saw recently you came into 2020 with a vision board party. And I love that because you are somebody that I really see as like a boss, and you have continued to thrive in the business world and the music industry. So why was something like a vision board party something you wanted to do, and how does that impact your life and how you move forward?
You know, the crazy thing is, like, that vision board party became bigger than I even expected it to be. It was just on a whim. I had said that I was going to invite a couple friends together to put our vision out there because I feel like if you can see the thought, you can make it happen. And, you know, you just start planning towards those goals. And then not only that, to bring together like-minded friends, because it was majority women, but we did have a couple guys there. I just feel like when you all come together and you support each other and you push each other, like I have a group text of a group of friends, and whenever one of us is doing something, we all post it, we all push it in our social media because, I mean, it's power in numbers, right? And so I just felt like it was important to bring these people together in the room, not just the people on my group text, but some of my other friends that maybe they don't all connect as often. And I wanted to do it at the top of the year because my plan is to push us all to get together throughout the year, hold each other accountable, constantly motivate each other, constantly support each other's businesses. Because people always want to say women are catty, we don't support each other, and that's not how I get down. So I just, in Atlanta, I everybody's always talking about I know everybody. I mean, I promise you, I had planned on it only being like 15 people. It turned into like 40-something people. And now I still am getting texts from people now like, how come I didn't get invited? But it was a last minute thing. We did it and threw it together in 2 days. And now we were able to share our vision with each other. And we're going to keep pushing each other till we get it.
And for you, I know you have like 6 or 7 businesses going at the same time simultaneously.
Like.
Yeah. So in 2020, what is one that you really are going to focus on or you have big plans for?
Well, I have lots of plans for Kandi Coated Cosmetics. That's a big deal for me. We just launched it. We launched it a year ago, but that was just to our Kandi Coated consultants because we have consultants that actually sell our products. So I have 3,000 bedroom candy consultants, and they also can sell Kandi Coated. And then we also, if you don't want to do bedroom candy, you just want to do Kandi Coated, you can join the company as well. But we constantly have motivational calls each month. And it's a real thing. That's the good thing about my company is that we give people the tools to try to help them succeed. And so with Kandi Coated, since it's new, they want to get the word out about it. So right now I'm putting together new branding strategies, marketing strategies to get it going where it needs to be. But then, I was also, with my restaurants, I'm focusing on that a lot. Old Lady Gang has been super successful, and I'm so happy about it. We're running almost into our 3rd year anniversary for our first location. We have 3.
So fast.
We have 3 now. And this year, my husband and I are going to be opening a few more restaurants. They're going to be different. They're not going to all be Old Lady Gang. But, yeah, just branching out and doing more.
We've seen that you were getting on Todd about staying on schedule. Has he been on schedule?
Well, my husband, it's so funny. It's like he's definitely let's get this done now type of person. But it was like, how sometimes things just aren't falling in line. Like when you're doing restaurants, it just doesn't happen like that. You got to get all these permits from the city and certain things aren't necessarily approved and you got to go back and revamp and all that stuff. And so he's just been running into a lot of frustration on some of the things that we're doing. And but it's cool, I'm still supportive because it was his idea to do Old Lady Gang and it's super successful. So I gotta give him credit to say he does, follow through and knows what he's doing.
Back to Kandi Coated Cosmetics, you making it the consultancy. Why was that so important for you to empower other women to go out and sell the cosmetics instead of just, selling lip gloss or whatever?
Yeah. Well, everybody knows that I love to motivate people. I always talk about business and empowerment. So with our company, the consultant arm of our company of Bedroom Candy, Kandi Coated Cosmetics, it was important for me to help these people become their own boss. And that was the goal from the start of starting it. And so if you join up with us, you start off making 40% of whatever you sell, And and then it goes up the more you do, obviously. But for me, it's we're partners in this thing. And so I'm setting you up for success. A lot of people don't know how to start their own business. They don't know how to get quality products. They don't know how to set up their websites. They don't know how to get, marketing tools. And sometimes they lose motivation. So that's why we do our motivational calls. We do our convention every year to get people, going, keep you going. Because sometimes in business, you just need support. And so my company is more like a support group. you know.
How did you learn all those little? I mean, was it just like
Trial and
trial
error.
and error? Yeah.
Trial and error for me because I don't know if everybody knows this. I started my career in high school. I did not go to college. I started out in Group Escape, with music. When I was a senior in high school, I was touring doing music. And so for me, out of necessity, I started coming up with other businesses because, you always want to have multiple sources of income. I was reading all these financial books because I never wanted to be broke. And, no, seriously, how
And
you
you're
see,
not, Kandi.
No, I'm just saying. You know how you see these kid stars, and then when they get older, they be broke, and you be on that "What Happened to Them" type of show. And I just didn't want to be that person. I didn't want people to say, "Well, what happened with Kandi from Escape?" I didn't want to be that girl. So I always was like, okay, I need to have some businesses that have nothing to do with music that can continue to make money so that I can take care of myself, my family, or whatever. And so it's just become obsessive at this point. But that's how I got started. But, obviously I team up with people who have knowledge that I don't have. And, we put our brains together and we make the best of it.
And you work hard. I mean, I think fans of yours know we see you out there constantly working hard. When I told my mom I was going to interview you, my mom goes, "Ooh, she's a boss."
Your mom?
My mom loves Real Housewives, but that's the first thing she said.
So
she was like,
sweet.
"Oh, she's a boss."
Thank you.
I was like, she is a boss. And I like that you're passing that on to your children too. I know Riley is going to NYU.
She got accepted, y'all.
That's right around the corner.
NYU. I'm gonna be up here more.
You're gonna be up here
'Cause I'm
more.
gonna be checking on her.
So what is she gonna major in? Does she want to follow your path at all?
Riley wants to be an entertainment lawyer. She wants to be an attorney. She says she wants to do business. Right now, she's starting out. I guess she is going to do her nutrition and something else in school her first semester. She said she's going to transfer to the business side the next year. I don't know. But she's in there.
Got a plan.
She's got a plan. Oh, that girl has a plan. Let me tell you, people always say like, oh, yeah, because she's your daughter. I don't know how to help her write her acceptance or get into school. I didn't do that process. So she had to do this on her own. And I'm so proud of her. Like, she did a great job putting her packages together. And, even with the internships, like, how many kids going and doing internships at because she's young for her grade level because her birthday is in August. So, she's only 17 now, but she started out doing internships 2 years ago. Like, she did the one here in New York last summer, but before that, she did one at a law firm the previous year. And so I'm just like, she deserves it.
She's always seemed like, I mean, I don't know her. I've seen her on the show. But she's always just seemed like super rational and like, even the way she talks to you, like she's not afraid to like have an honest conversation.
You know what? Let me say this. I think I promoted because I wanted her to be able to speak up for herself and never be afraid to speak up for herself and all of that. So as she was a kid, I was like, okay, yeah, you speak up for yourself. You don't let people. But then as she got older and she started using that against me, I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't mean against me. I meant to everybody else. Like, what are you doing?
She can be tough on you guys.
She talks to me like I'm her homegirl. But we talk. She's like, girl. Like, people they crack up when they hear us talk,
Now you look like sisters, too.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
She's super tall, so she makes
is.
me look, like...
She's starting to look like a grown woman, and, like, just recently, I'm like, wow, it's like kids grow up so fast. And you know that because you have 2 little ones at home. Yeah. So you have Ace, and then you just welcomed baby Blaze. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's she doing?
She's doing great.
Yeah.
She's not letting us get any sleep, but she's doing great.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Where'd you get the name from?
Blaze.
Yeah.
Oh, we had multiple names that we were trying to figure out. So my whole thing is 1-syllable brandable names. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm thinking 1-syllable brand, So that's how, like with Ace, for instance. So with Blaze, I had like a list of names that I was going through. I had Banks and Blaze were the ones we had narrowed it down to. Banks was like a leftover name that we didn't use for Ace. And so we kept going back and forth. We let everybody vote. We was asking everybody in the house. Ace was like, Blaze, I like Blaze. You saw him say it on the show. And so we finally just went along with what Ace said.
Is she going to get her own brand then?
Yes.
Do we know what it's going to... I know we have Raising Ace.
Yes,
so
we have Raising Ace. His is children's products. I can't say what hers is gonna be yet until it's done.
Okay.
You know, that's a problem. We always be wanting to talk ahead of ourselves. Next thing you know, somebody already bought your website and they done grabbed your Instagram name, and you like, wait a minute.
So
'Cause
right
you
now
put
I'm
it
gonna
out
buy
there.
blaze.com, www.blaze.com.
Girl, I'm sure somebody already got that one.
Sure they have.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure you already got what you need to, because I know you're ahead of the curve. Before we go to questions, I also want to note that you're going to be acting on The Shy,
Yes.
which I think is so cool. I love that show. I don't know
Thank
if
you.
you guys have seen it. It's on Showtime, created by Lena Waithe. Can you tell us about what your role is going to be?
Oh, I'm so excited, y'all. This is my first major reoccurring role, okay, on a scripted show. So I can't wait.
You're so excited.
Yes, I'm super excited because this is something that I really wanted to do for a very long time. And so the role that I have, her name is Rosalind Perry, and she's very duplicitous. Okay, you know, she's good at being bad, but not bad. So, well, she's bad. Anyway, let me just say this: she's she's the wife of Duda. And I think that's all I can tell you. I don't want to tell you too much. You got to watch the show. So if you ever watch the show, you know that Duda is like a businessman in the community, but he's really the head of all the guys in the streets. So, you know, he has that good side, bad side thing going on as well. And he and I bump heads drastically.
How did you fit in going to set on top of everything?
You
Was
know
it hard to
what?
balance everything?
No, because I don't mind working around the clock. Now, the one thing, I worked all the way up till the day before she was born. I kept saying, I said, she's my best baby. She came right on time. I kept praying. I said, God, please don't let her come early. Let her come on the day we've scheduled. Please. Because I knew we had already agreed to do the show. I had already agreed to do the show. And so I was taping Housewives, and on my off day, well, you only get 2 days off, so I would fly from Atlanta to Chicago. So I was working every single day for a couple months. And it was okay because I know there's a great thing that's going to come out of all of this. So was I exhausted? Yes. But, you know, I'm looking at the bigger picture. I hear people always talking all that stuff about, oh, it's, you know, everybody needs about self-care. And I'm like, that sounds good in theory. But for my life, what I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to get it. And I ain't got time to be sitting there. I got to go. So I was just working. But it's something that I love. So I was really happy doing it when I first got there. I was just grateful for the opportunity. So my thing is you show up, you show out, you be prepared, you know, and you be moldable. You know, I'm there to learn from others. You know, I have obviously in my head the way things should be, but, you know, I take direction well. You know, I never get too full of myself either. So, you know how some people start thinking, I've been doing this. Don't nobody care. Because, you know, let me tell this to anybody who's ever had any success in your life. Everything that you're doing right now is what you worked on yesterday. Okay, and what you're working on today is what's going to become successful in the future. Meaning that if you all the time talking about what I used to be, my cousin told me one day a long time ago. She said, "Used to be's don't make no honey, so don't nobody care what you used to be." So like, didn't nobody care that I used to be in Escape if we wasn't doing nothing now. You get what I'm saying? But that gives longevity to your past things that you worked on because you have current success and current things you're working on. And the only way you can do that is if you are, you know, pleasant to work with, you know, you're professional, you know, hardworking, do what you're supposed to do. So I tell everybody, don't get caught up in the hype now, because you get caught up in the hype, that's when you fall off.
And you have not fallen off. And I mean, like, your career to me is so impressive, the way you've continued to maneuver and change. But again,
you have to be able to do multiple things.
Like, and look ahead, though. Like you said, you have to kind of strategize, and a lot of people don't do that.
Right. And then when you're in your current thing, like for me, it's like I'm always trying to figure out every part of that business. So for me, you know, if I'm sitting up here, I'm like, I wonder how much did it cost to do this show? I wonder how many people do you have to have? I wonder how much, you know, what you can do to produce it. So in my mind, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, all right, I could do this. That's how I'm already thinking about.
Just don't take my job, please.
No. But see, my thing is, I don't care about always being in front of the camera. I could be behind the camera. Same way in the music. I don't care if I'm in front of the mic, behind the board, watching somebody else on stage, as long as I was a part of what is great. You get what I'm saying? I just want to be a part of greatness. That's all I care about. I don't have to be the one that's in the front. It's like, okay.
That takes us to our first question, which is perfect. Edward is the man asks, what inspired you to write No Scrubs? Speaking of being a part of greatness.
An ex. That was when I was super young and but like I said, I did have some successful when I was young and I was trying to be the supportive girlfriend, and I just felt like he was getting too comfortable with that. And my friend and I, she was dating, I guess his brother or whatever, and we were like joking and I freestyled. Well, I already knew I was gonna have I used to have a book of ideas and titles. So I knew, or subjects. So I had wrote Scrubs down in my book like a long time before that. And I was like, one day, this will be a good title, And so I had the track that I liked and I was just singing along with the beat and I started freestyling. So I had freestyled a whole verse all the way through the hook. Yeah. And then I took it back to Tiny and I was like, let me sing this idea for you. What you think about this? Because she and I was like working on a duet project. And she was like, Kandi, you're so crazy. But then she wrote her second verse and we played it for the people and they liked it. So.
And it's iconic. I mean, right now, like you were just saying that, I almost burst out into song. I won't do that to you. But the lyrics are so memorable, right? So good job. Who is our first one?
Hi, Kandi. I just love you. Like, I have followed you since the days of Escape, and I wanted to say, like, you are literally a human juggernaut. Like, you juggle like there is no tomorrow between the restaurant, family, beautiful family at that, and then the show, really entertaining. I wanted to know, how do you carve out time for Kandi to do the things you need to do for Kandi?
Do you?
If you.
Well, I mean, as far as like carve out what time exactly, because like the only thing I don't really carve out a lot of time, meaning even when I'm not working, I'm trying to devote time to my children, my husband, and my family, because I have a big family in Atlanta. So like my aunts, they feel away if I haven't seen them for a while, or my cousins are like, oh, you acted funny, I ain't heard from you. So it's like I'm in a lot of different directions. So I feel like I'm always trying to cater, which I do understand. You're supposed to do things for yourself. I think the one thing that I do for myself, I love to just chill at the house and get my nails done. I always save my favorite shows. I love to just have my night when I get home and watch my favorite shows. Other things that I do, I like simple things, movies. I don't get to go as often as I used to like, but simple stuff like that. And then they talked about on the season, I'm a thrill seeker, so I love stuff like Six Flags, and I love roller coasters and stuff like that. So if I can plan a trip, you best believe I'm trying to figure out, what amusement park is there? Simple stuff like that. I definitely have started planning set vacations during the year. So I'll have certain times where I'll just say, we going on a vacation in top of June. And at first I used to like let them call, oh no, we have to start taping. I don't care. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't care. I'm not gonna do it, this is what's happening on that time. So I plan that, but as far as like a day-to-day, I don't really get much praise.
What is a show that you like to watch?
Ooh, what show don't I like to watch? Okay, right now I'm into Apple TV. Yes. So I'm really liking The Servant. I'm liking the Octavia Spencer show.
Truth be told.
I like it a lot.
That's a good.
Yes, I love it. Of course I like Power. I love Snowfall. I mean, I can't wait till that starts back.
You like good TV.
The Shy. I was a fan before I got on it, though, seriously. And I love like simple show. I like sci-fi and action-packed shows. So like even now I'm watching the from Disney TV, the Runaways. See, I like that. Super silly stuff like that,
Do you ever watch Real Housewives? Do you ever just turn on Bravo and like binge like we do?
I really only watch our Housewives show. I mean, not that I have anything against the other ladies, from the other Housewives, but A-Town is the best town.
Who's got the next one? Over here.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Yeah, hi, Kenny. I'm Karen. I was in Atlanta recently, and it was such a long wait to go to Old Lady Gang. My girlfriends and we didn't get a chance to go. So you have to open one in Harlem because
Oh
we
wow.
need
I
more
second that. I live in
restaurants.
Harlem.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
So please come to New York.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep hearing people say that, and one day I would love to be able to branch out. I think we're so scared to like not have control, until we figure out how to find the team that we can expand to different states. We trying to like totally control where we are and make sure those are on point, and then we'll branch out.
If you come to Harlem, though, know exactly what street you should be on.
Really?
Yes. Anybody, there's like a place, there's a zone, a restaurant zone in
Oh,
Harlem that I could see you guys fitting perfectly. So we'll talk.
Okay.
Okay. Right here.
Hey, you look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
So I was just wondering, what is something that you were instilled as a child that you made sure to instill in your children? Because you're clearly big on family.
Yeah. A lot of things. I would have to say the love of family. I'm always like, okay, that's your family. You supposed to like them. So what? So what? They made you mad. I get over things easily with my family. Like, we can have an argument right now, and you call me right back. I'm like, yeah, okay, and it doesn't have to be this big long closure thing. Todd kind of hates how I can do that. It's just like y'all just don't even talk about it. You just act like it didn't even happen and keep pushing. But it's just like for me, if it's family, and no matter what, you're not supposed to stay mad at each other. The other thing, just things my mother instilled in me is just like the support of family. Our whole family comes out and support everything we do. Ace plays baseball. He's 4 now, but at 3 years old, he was in Little League, and we had a whole crew out there like, yes, the aunties, cousins, And I just think that is a good thing, to pass down with your kids, and overall just mindset. That whole thing my mother used to say about conceive the thought and make it happen. I definitely tell my children that over and over and over, like there's nothing out of your grasp. My mom, she was a single mom. She used to drive me around every week or a couple times a week. We would drive around to all the neighborhoods that had really, really nice houses and just ride around the neighborhood and be like, oh, we got to have that house when we get older. Oh, I want a house like that. And then this is the funny thing. One of the neighborhoods that I used to drive by, and this was as I got older because I continued to do it even through my 20s. One of the neighborhoods that I used to drive by that was gated, and I saw it when it was being built, I always used to I wonder what those houses look like in there. I live there now. And so it's just simple things that keep you motivated and help you want more and have a bigger vision.
How is Mama Joyce?
She's good.
I love your mom.
Yes, I do too.
Does she like being on the show still? And like,
She's cool. I think, she's had her moments where she didn't like the way that she looked on television. Obviously, my mama cares about what people say, honey. So, like me, I don't always care, but she gets all hurt and riled up about what people say. And I'm just like, well, you can't, say things on television, think they're not going to have an opinion. Just have to not worry about it and just stick to your guns, But she's cool. She's just like, okay, well, hey, we're here now.
and like I said, this season is so good. You are doing so good this season, and also
It's so funny because while we were taping it, I was like, well, my storyline sucks.
no, you play an integral role. You're like our voice in there, sort of like navigating all of it. I love it. It is so much fun. And from last night's episode, I feel like the drama is just about to ramp up even more.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Anything you can tease?
Okay, how can I tease without giving away anything?
Or you can
Okay,
just give it
so
away.
you said give away. Okay, so what happened with the thing that Kenya said last night?
About if you knew a man was cheating,
Right.
would you tell your friend?
Right. There at that moment, everybody's like, "Oh, she was being so messy," but you got to remember, none of us, well, except for Cynthia, and I kind of remember because she did briefly mention that she had met a cookie lady, but that was like 2 months before then. She had never said anything all the way up until that point. So when she said that night, I wasn't sure who she was talking about because I was like, "Who, man, girl? Who you talking about?" But it could have just brushed under the table. But because of what Tanya's gonna do in the next episode, the havoc that Kenya's gonna bring later is gonna be way worse.
And that's just why my guard is up with Kenya. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Well, this is what I always tell people. You can't throw shade and determine how the other person is going to react. Okay? So it's like if I, call myself, oh, I'm gonna get you before you get me, and I think I'm gonna get her before she gets me. If she comes back, and hits me with a super low blow, I can be, well, she shouldn't have done that. I only did this. Well, you can't control what the other person is going to do in retaliation to your actions. So, it just gets worse.
You're so right. We've seen it time and time again on this show, and we keep watching because that's what makes it so damn good.
And then that whole thing between Kenya and Nene is going to explode.
Last night wasn't an explosion?
Girl, just a piece of it. Just a piece. Just a piece. Just
Well.
wait. You will see. It gets worse. It does. I don't know about them. They're just oil and water.
I
don't
love that.
know.
Real Housewives of Atlanta, ... It gets worse.
It does. It is crazy because you think it can't get any worse than this, but yep, it gets worse.
Well, Kandi, we will be watching. I will definitely be watching. And you guys can watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta Sundays at 8, 7 Central on Bravo. Put your hands together for Kandi Burruss.